screen, right?
Yes, sir.
In last class, we discussed two problems. This problem is already completed, and this problem is also completed. Now today we'll discuss this problem. Okay, only two problems we completed in last class. Okay, so let me copy this problem to the Paint so that I can solve easily. Right, can you read this problem? Can anyone read the problem?
An engine mounted on a ship has thermal efficiency 80% of that of corresponding Carnot cycle. The engine receives heat from sea at 300 Kelvin and rejects heat to atmosphere at 280 Kelvin. The work output from engine is dissipated through an agitator to heat 500 kg of seawater to 355 Kelvin. What quantity of heat must be extracted from the seawater to provide the required heating effect? Take
Right,
specific seawater as Cp equal to 4.186 kilojoule per kg Kelvin.
right. So an engine mounted on a ship has a thermal efficiency of 80% of Carnot efficiency, right? So thermal efficiency of an engine is equals to 80% of Carnot efficiency. 80% of Carnot efficiency. That condition is given. Okay, and the engine receives heat from the sea at 300 Kelvin. Sir. 300 Kelvin and reject heat to the atmosphere at 280 Kelvin, right? 280 Kelvin. This is the sink temperature. 300 is the source temperature. The work output of the from the engine is dissipated through the agitator. This is the work output, and this work is used to heat 500 kg of seawater to 355 degree Kelvin, right? What is the temperature of the seawater? 300 Kelvin. Okay, right. So by using this work output, he is heating the seawater to the 355 Kelvin, right? What quantity of heat must be extracted from the seawater to provide the required heating effect, right? First, calculate efficiency of the Carnot. Efficiency of Carnot is equals to, as we know, 1 minus T2 by T1, because temperatures are given. So this is T1 temperature and this is T2 temperature, sink temperature. So heat is extracted from the source and part of heat will be converted into work. Remaining heat is rejected to the sink. Okay. Now can anyone solve it and tell me? 1 minus T2 is 280 and T1 is 300 Kelvin. What is this value? Solve it and tell me. So 300 is the LCM, 20 by 300, that is 2 by 30. 2 by 30 is how much? 0.
3.
Sorry, 0.
3.
33. Hey, 36 on it. 2 by 30, how much? 0.
07.
0.066. Right now? Yes or no? Okay. Now, but heat engine efficiency is given. Thermal efficiency. 1 second. Why it's struggling? Thermal efficiency of engine is given as engine is equals to 80% of Carnot. So that is equals to 80 by 100 into this value, 2 by 30. How much it is? How much it is? Solve and tell me.
2.1.
Let me take pen on 2 point. Okay. Total value, tell me. 160 by 3000. 0.0 5 3. This is the efficiency of the heat engine. Okay, na? The work now. What is the amount of work needed to heat the water? Work required. Work is nothing but energy. Work required to heat water. M into mass of water into specific heat of water into how much temperature we need to increase, delta T, mc dt. So what is the mass of water is given? Mass of water is given as 500 kg and Cp of seawater is given 4.186 kilojoule is not the SI unit, joule is the SI unit. So therefore 4.186 into 1000 we need to write. We should convert into joules. 4.186 into 1000 into temperature difference, right? So right, what is the original temperature? Original temperature is 300 and but we are increasing to 355. So therefore temperature difference will be 55. Right. If you this is for 4.186 into 1000 it is, right? So therefore if you simplify this value, you will get around 115 into 10 power 3 joules. This is the amount of heat required, nothing but the work from the engine is used to heat the seawater, right? Now, if you write the efficiency of engine, heat engine, what is the formula? This is the work done by heat supply. So what we required heat supplied. So therefore heat supplied is equals to work done. Just now we calculate this value divided by efficiency of engine also we have. So that is equals to 115 into 10 power 3 joules divided by efficiency is how much you got? 0.053. 0.053. So if you simplify this value, you will get around 2159 756 into 10 power 3 joules. Means if you remove 10 power 3, it will become kilojoule. Yeah.
Sir, can you write 215 megajoules?
One second. Today, the cursor is getting slow. Okay, 215. No, not 215. 2159 megajoules we can write. Because after 3 decimals, we need to keep the point, right? 756 is there. So 2159 megajoules we can write. 2159 megajoules. 2159.7 into 10 power 6 joule. So this can also be written as 2159.7 megajoule. Is this problem is clear? See, what he is saying that he is using one engine. That engine efficiency is claiming that my engine efficiency is 80% of that of Carnot engine, right? So if you know, next we are going to discuss that concept only. According to Carnot theorem, no engine efficiency is greater than Carnot engine efficiency. That's what, whatever the engine we are using, that efficiency should be less than the Carnot engine. Then only that is feasible one. Okay, otherwise it's not acceptable. Okay, right. So in that way, his engine is claiming that his efficiency is 80% of that. Therefore, first we should know what is the efficiency of Carnot. Once you know Carnot efficiency, we will multiply with 80%, then we will get our engine efficiency. For that, so as we know, Carnot engine efficiency is equals to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. One heat is given, but the temperatures are given, Q equal to mCT. So in that fashion, 1 minus T2 by T1, where T2 is the sink temperature and T1 is the source temperature, right? So with the given data, we calculated, and that value is equals to 0.066. That is the Carnot efficiency. Means the Carnot efficiency is how much? 6.6% only for this condition, right? Now that with that Carnot efficiency, we can calculate our engine efficiency, that is equals to 80% of Carnot given in the problem. So 80 by 100 into this value, we'll get 0.053. Means my engine efficiency is 5.3% only. It is less than Carnot efficiency. Carnot efficiency is 6.6%. 6.6% is the Carnot efficiency, and my engine efficiency is 5.3. And he given that the work output from this engine is used to heat the water from the in the sea, and initially sea water is at 300 degree Kelvin, and he want to increase the temperature of sea water to 355 Kelvin. So therefore, the work required or the energy required to heat the sea water is equals to M into Cp into delta T, where M is the mass of water to be heated, and Cp is the specific heat of the sea water, and delta T is the temperature rise. And always in any problem, all the units should be in SI unit. So the SI unit for Cp should be joule per kg Kelvin. So therefore, we should multiply with 10 power 3. That is the reason I multiplied 4.186 into 1000. So to convert kilojoule per kg Kelvin into joule per kg Kelvin, and mass SI unit is kg only, and delta T. So anyhow, it is in Kelvin, right? So kilojoules per kg Kelvin and Kelvin will be cancelled, and kg is also cancelled, and kilojoule is already converted to joule. Therefore, the final units I am getting as joule. So this is the work done. So once I know work done and I have efficiency, so that I can calculate how much amount of heat I need to supply. This is what I am getting. This is the heat supplied. This heat supplied I am getting as 2159 megajoule. Is this problem is clear? Tell me, is this problem is clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now we'll go to next problem. Right. A domestic food refrigerator maintains a temperature. So domestic food refrigerator maintains a temperature of minus 10 degree while the ambient temperature is minus 30 degree. Right. So the heat leakage into the freezer is estimated to be at continuous rate of 2 kilojoules per second. Determine the least power needed to pump out this heat continuously. Right. So you want to maintain the temperature minus 10 degree, but a surrounding temperature is it's not minus 30,
Minus
right? So it's not minus 30, it will be plus 30 degree. Okay, that is wrong. Minus 30 is wrong. Outside environment. Okay, that is plus 30 only. The heat leakage into the refrigerator is estimated 2 kilojoules per second. See, because he given that heat is leaking into refrigerator. When heat will be leaked into the refrigerator, when outside temperature is more than the inside temperature. Agree? Tell me.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Means this will be plus 30. It's not minus 30. It should be plus 30. That is the reason why I kept as it is. Okay. And the heat leakage is also given. And determine the least power needed to pump out this heat continuously. Okay. Right. Heat leak into the, this is my refrigerator, right? This is the refrigerator. Let me change the color. I think white color is okay, right? So let us say now this white color is
Yes, sir.
visible. Right. This is the refrigerator. So this is a reversed Carnot engine. In order to do this, we need to supply the work. It is extracting Q2 amount of work and supplying Q1, and temperature is T2 here and temperature is T1 here. Okay, na? Right. The rate of heat rejection Q2 is equals to 2 kilojoules per second is given. 2 kilojoules per second is given. Okay, and the temperature is given, right? So T2 is equals to what is the
Minus
temperature
10.
into minus 10 degrees centigrade over here, and here 30 degrees centigrade, right? So what is the equivalent Kelvin? 303 Kelvin here and 263 Kelvin here. Yes or no? 263
Yes, sir.
Kelvin, right? Now, what is the COP of the refrigerator? COP, what is the desired effect here? My desired effect is Q2. So Q2 by Q1 minus Q2. Q2 by Q1 minus Q2. In terms of temperature, I can write T2 by T1 minus T2. Is it is visible what I am writing on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right now. So if you equate this to Q2 by Q1, right? So this is nothing but COP of the refrigerator. So if you equate these two, from this I can write as Q1, if I reciprocal on both the sides, Q1 minus Q2 by Q2 is equals to T1 minus T2 by T2. And from this I can write Q1 by Q2 minus 1 is equals to T1 by T2 minus 1. So from this Q1 by Q2 is equals to T1 by T2 we can write. Right. So from this T1, T2 is known and Q2 is also known. So therefore I can calculate Q1 is equals to Q2 into T1 by T2. So T1 by T2 is known. Okay, T1 Q2 is how much? 2 into 10 power 3 or 2 kilojoules. 2 into 10 power 3 joules into T1 is 303 divided by T2 is equals to 263. Always SI unit for the temperature is Kelvin. Okay, so if you calculate, you will get around 2304 joules per second, nothing but 2.3 kilojoule, right? So 2.3 kilojoules of heat is Q1. It is rejecting. Yes or no? Right? Now, so how to calculate the work? Work or power required, W equal to Q1 minus Q2. Yes or no? If you apply energy balance here, Q2 plus W is going inside, Q1 is coming outside. So therefore, if you equate W, you will get it as Q1 minus Q2. So Q1 is 2.304. Just now we calculated, and Q2 is given as 2. Therefore, it is equals to 0.304 kilojoules per second, nothing but kilowatt. The power required to drive the pump is 0.3 kilowatt power. Is it is clear? First, you should draw the figure whether it is an engine or pump or refrigerator. Then we written COP of the pump, refrigerator. What is the COP? Desired effect to the work done or desired effect to the work done. So what is my desired effect? Removing the heat from the lower temperature reservoir. So Q2 is my desired effect in case of refrigerator. So therefore Q2 by Q1 minus Q2 is equals to T2 by T1 minus T2, right? If by rearranging the terms, I came to know Q1 by Q2 is equals to T1 by T2. So in this Q2 is given, so Q1 can be calculated like this. Once you know Q1, that is the heat rejected from the refrigerator, and Q2 is the heat extracted from the refrigerator, right? So therefore W equal to Q1 minus Q2 by doing energy balance. So therefore this is the work required to drive the pump. Clear this one? Ask me if you have any doubt. Students, anyone please respond.
Clear, sir.
Right.
Explain once again, sir.
Right. Next, last problem for this topic. An engine working on Carnot cycle absorbs Q1 units of heat from a source at T1 and rejects Q2 units of heat to the sink at T2, right? Normal generally. So always high temperature reservoir is the source and it is at temperature T1, and rejecting to the lower temperature reservoir, that is sink, at temperature T2. Because imperfect heat transfer, the maximum and minimum absolute temperatures attained during the cycle are given. Theta 1, theta 2, theta 1 is the maximum temperature and theta 2 is the minimum temperature, where K is a constant. So that the efficiency of the plant is given by, right now? Right. So it is a Carnot engine. So let us say this is my source at a temperature T1 and extracting amount of Q1. This is the engine. W is the work done by the engine, and some part of the heat will be rejected to the sink at temperature T2. This figure is okay, right? So for any heat engine working on a Carnot cycle, it should extract heat from a higher temperature body and it should reject heat to the lower temperature body by doing some work from the heat utilized. Okay, right. Now this is the Carnot cycle. Then what is the efficiency we can write? Efficiency in terms of heat I can write, or in terms of temperature also. Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1, right? So but here temperature is given maximum temperature theta 1, minimum temperature is theta 2. In terms of theta 1, theta 2 I can write theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by theta 1. This is in terms of heat and this is the in terms of temperature. And if you simplify this one, Q2 by Q1 is equals to theta 2 divided by theta 1. Okay, na? And he has given theta 1 value, theta 2 value in terms of T1, T2, right? So but given theta 1 is here, if you see theta 1 is equals T1 minus KQ1, okay, and theta 2 is equals to KQ2 plus T2, okay, right? So if you write here theta 1 T1 minus theta 1, I can written as KQ1. Can I write? From this theta 1 is given. So what I am doing, I am taking KQ1 that side, theta 1 this side. So T1 minus theta 1 equal to KQ1 and T2 minus theta 2 is equals to minus KQ2, or if I multiply with minus, it will become theta 2 minus T2 is equals to KQ2. Okay, right. So what we are doing, I want Q2 by Q1 value here left side. So what I am doing, I am dividing this equation with this equation. KQ2 divided by KQ1 is equals to theta 2 minus T2 divided by T1 minus theta 1. KK will be cancelled. You will get with Q2 by Q1, right? But Q2 by Q1 is given as theta 2 by theta 1. Theta 2 by theta 1, right? Now what we need to do, we need to cross multiply and simplify for theta 2. So theta 1, theta 2. Do the cross multiplication and simplify. Theta 2, theta 1 minus T2, theta 1. I'm multiplying these two. Now if we multiply these two is equals to theta 2, T1 minus theta 1, theta 2. Okay. Now what we need to do, take theta 1 one side, theta 2 other side. So here theta 2 is there, here theta 2, here theta 2. Only you send this one right side and these two left side. So then you will get it theta 2 I can take common directly. I am writing theta 1 minus T1 plus theta 1 is equals to T2 theta 1. Is this step is clear? Please ask me. I took these two left
Yes,
side
sir.
and I took this one right side. So and by default I took theta 2 common. Here theta 1 is left. Here it will become minus T1. It will become plus theta 1. So theta 1 plus theta 1 2 theta 1. So therefore I can write theta 2 is equals to T2 theta 1 divided by 2 theta 1 minus T1. Right. So what is theta 1 value? Theta 1 is equal to T1 minus KQ1 here, right? So if you substitute here, theta 2, T2 theta 1 divided by 2 into T1 minus KQ1, because in our required expression K1 value is there. That's why I'm substituting again, minus T1. Okay, so this is theta 2 value. Okay, right. So what is the efficiency definition? Efficiency is equals to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by theta 1. So theta 2 you substitute here, theta 1 is as it is, you write it. So if you substitute theta 1 minus theta 2 value is this one, T2 theta 1 all divided by 2 into T1 KQ1 minus Q1 by theta 1. So if you see from the numerator and from denominator, I can take theta 1 common. If you take theta 1 common, then you left with 1 minus T2 divided by 2 KQ1. To theta 1.
So you haven't substituted the value of theta 1 in numerators.
Yeah, we need to substitute. And here, no, theta 1 in the denominator, right? Numerator.
It is also there in the numerators.
No, theta 1 I am keeping as it is. Theta 2 I am substituting from here. And here one more step, 2T1 minus 2KQ1. Okay. So from this, what can you do? 2T1 minus T1 will become, let me erase this. Right. So here, if you see, it will 2T1 minus 2KQ1 minus T1. So therefore, it will become, the final value will become T1 minus 2KQ1, the total value, whole value. Agree? In the denominator.
Yes, sir.
If you open, right? So this theta 2 I am substituting here. Theta 1 I am keeping as it is. Theta 1 minus it is minus theta 2. Theta 1 minus theta 2 means T2 theta 1 by T1 minus 2KQ1. So here theta 1 is there, here theta 1, here theta 1 will be cancelled. So you left with 1 minus T2 by T1 minus 2KQ1. This is the efficiency in terms of theta. This is what we require. Again, I am repeating. 1 second. Let me change the color. Right. So as we know, the efficiency of Carnot engine is in terms of heat, it is Q1 minus Q2 by Q1, right? In terms of temperature, T1 minus T2 by T1. But here temperature is given in terms of absolute scale, right? Theta 1 minus theta 2. Theta 1 minus theta 2. Theta 1 is the maximum temperature. Theta 2 is the minimum temperature, right? And in like previous problem, if you solve this, you will get it. Q2 by Q1 is equals to theta 2 by theta 1, right? Now I am solving for Q2 by Q1. So for that he has given theta 1 is equals to like this and theta 2 is equal like. So from this calculate, by using these two equations, we solved Q2 by Q1 and we got it Q2 by Q1 as this value. I am substituting this one. Q2 by Q1 is equals to theta 2 by theta 1 and just do the cross multiplication and take out theta 2 out. So after cross multiplication, take theta 2. This is the theta 2 value, we got it. And this theta 2, I am substituting in the efficiency equation. Efficiency equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 by theta 1. Theta 1 I am keeping as it is. Why I am substituting only theta 1 means my required expression consists of only KQ1. That's what only I am substituting theta 1 in theta 2. Means I am replacing theta 2 in terms of Q1. Got the point? If your expression is in terms of 2KQ2, you should replace theta 1 with theta 2. Means at that time you will get KQ2 here. Okay. And upon simplifying, we are getting efficiency. Clear this one?
Yes, sir.
Practice. Practice. Right. Our next topic is the Carnot theorem. Okay. Right. So you might have studied, diploma people might have studied, but even regular students also, they have studied in physics it seems. Okay, let it be. Now, so what Carnot theorem states that, like in today's first problem, I told in SCP is using engine, that engine efficiency is some 80% or 90% of Carnot efficiency, Carnot engine, right? Means all heat engine efficiency should be less than the Carnot engine efficiency. That is the condition, right? So that's what Carnot theorem says. Right. So what it is saying that no heat engine, it is also negative statement. No heat engine operating in a cycle between two given thermal reservoirs, that is a source and sink. Right. Any engine operating in a cyclic process and operating between given two thermal reservoirs with fixed temperatures can be more efficient than a reversible engine operating between same thermal reservoirs. So don't think that then fixed temperature can be more efficient, but it is more efficient, but starting is negative symbol, means that engine efficiency is always less than the Carnot efficiency. So simply if you want to say, always the Carnot cycle engine efficiency will be maximum compared to, right? If any engine exists in nature, that efficiency should be below the Carnot efficiency. Okay, that is the main condition. No heat engine, no heat engine, this is starting with negative. No heat engine operating in a cycle between given thermal reservoirs with fixed temperatures can be more efficient than a reversed engine operating between the same thermal. Reversed engine means your Carnot engine operating between the same thermal reservoirs. In order to prove this one, let us consider two engines. One is reversible engine, other one is irreversible engine. Reversible engine means I can make use of this as a pump or refrigerator, whereas irreversible engine, the direction reverse is not possible. Okay, right. So if you see, I am assuming engine EA is the reversible engine, means I can change the directions over here, but EB cannot be reversed, means EA can be used as heat engine or refrigerator or heat pump, but EB can be used only as the heat engine. Okay, right. Both are operating under a temperature T1 and T2. Both are operating on a temperature T1 and T2, right? Now, so for the same quantity of heat withdrawn from the high temperature source, so let us say here, 1 second. Right. So for the same quantity of heat withdrawn from the high temperature source, the work output from these engines will be WA is the work done by the engine A, WB is the work done by the engine B. So this is WA, this is WB, right now. This from this Q heat supplied, part of the heat will be converted into work, remaining will be rejected to the sink, right? Now, if you write the heat balance equation also, Q is going in, Q minus WA, WA is coming out. Q is equals to Q minus WA plus WA. Therefore, Q equal to Q. Therefore, energy is balanced. Okay. Right. As such, heat engine is given of reversible engine and Q minus WA, and that of irreversible engine Q minus QB. So Q minus WA is the heat released by the reversible engine. Q minus W is the heat released by the non-reversible engine or irreversible engine to the sink. Right now, right. Then we are assuming for let us say we know that our normal heat engine. So now I'll ask one question here. Can you tell me which engine efficiency should be more, E or EB? Which engine efficiency should be more according to this statement? Which engine efficiency should be more, E or EB?
EB, sir.
Hey, always the Carnot engine, right? Means any heat engine working in a cyclic process, that efficiency should be less than the Carnot cycle, right? So means here EA is reversed engine. This is my Carnot engine. Carnot engine can be reversed. This is irreversible engine. Always EA should be. Tell me, EA efficiency EA should be more than EB because it is the reversed engine. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Always reversible engines are having more efficiency. That is the Carnot's theorem. Reversible engines efficiency should be greater than irreversible engines. So in order to prove that, I am assuming EB efficiency. Let us assume that the irreversible engine EB is more efficient than the reversible engine. Okay. Then at that time, what is the efficiency work done by heat supplied? This is the irreversible engine work done WB. Heat supplied will be same. So therefore, WB by Q of irreversible is greater than WA by Q of reversible. So Q is same. Therefore, WB is greater than WA. This is our assumption only. This is our assumption, and this assumption we are going to prove as a false, so that reversible engine will be having more efficiency compared to the reversible engine. Okay, and Q minus WA is less than Q minus WB. Look here. Right. So here, engine A, and here I have engine B. This is a reversible engine. All right, here. So this is the work done by a reversible engine. This is the work done by irreversible engine. We are calling it as AB. It is giving problem today. Okay, right now this is Q here, and let's say Q1, Q2. This is also Q1. This is also Q2, right? So always according to Carnot theorem, reversible engine should be having more efficient, right? But here I am assuming, let us say irreversible engine efficiency is more. So I am assuming that efficiency of irreversible engine is greater than efficiency of reversible engine, right? So efficiency is work done by heat supplied. So work done by irreversible engine by Q1 is greater than work done by reversible engine by heat supplied. So therefore, W irreversible engine, that is B according to our notation, W reversible. Now, so look here, if work done by irreversible engine is more, this heat will be less or more? Tell me.
Less, sir.
Less, right? Na? So compared to this Q2 reversible, Q2 irreversible. Yes, sir, right? Means the heat rejected will be ultimately less here. The heat rejected will be more according to my assumption. Okay. So therefore, here tell me Q minus WA. Q minus WA is less than Q minus WB. Yes, sir, right? Because work done by B is more. That is the output from the irreversible engine is more than that from the reversible engine. Now, if you see, let the reverse, this is all story on reversible engine EA now be made to operate. Now, in second case, what we are doing, we are making this engine as a refrigerator because it is reversible engine, right? Now it is, we are making this engine as heat pump, let us say. Means it is taking heat from the reservoir and rejecting to the source. Okay. Now, in order to do this process, I need to some external work. That work I am extracting from engine B. Now, if you see here, this is the composite system. Please look at the figure. This is the composite system, and because of my assumption EA is reversible, I made this engine as pump. Okay. In order to this is extracting heat from the lower temperature body and rejecting to the higher temperature body. In order to occur this process in reverse manner, I need to supply some external work. Let assume WA is the work supplied by EB. So we know that engine B is producing some work. Within that work, I am using WA. Therefore, what is the remaining work done by the B? WB minus WA. Is this line is clear? WB minus WA, because W is the work done by B. In this WB, I am taking WA to drive this pump. Therefore, the work left will be WB minus WA. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Right now, so why I'm writing WB minus WA means WA I am supplying to the engine A, because now this engine A is acting as a pump because I changed the direction because it is reversible. Okay. Now therefore what happened here? So whatever the, now this pump is pumping the heat to the source, and that heat I am using to do the work. If you see, now in this way I can eliminate this reservoir. Please concentrate. Now at this instant I can eliminate this reservoir and I can give directly a connection over here. This Q only will go to the engine and it will do some work and it will extract heat to the sink. Again, this pump is taking Again, this pump is taking heat from the reservoir and it is extracting and it is sending up, right? This Q again I am reusing to the engine. Like this means here a source is eliminated. Is it is satisfying first law of thermodynamics? Please answer my question. Is it is satisfying first law of thermodynamics? Heat is converted into work and work is converted into heat. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is
Yes, sir.
according to the first law of thermodynamics. But is it is according to second law of thermodynamics?
No, sir. Work has to
Exchanging
apply.
heat with single thermal reservoir is not possible. Yes or no? Yes or no, right? So what is the second law of thermodynamics? We have Kelvin Planck and Clausius statement, right? What Kelvin Planck statement states?
It is impossible to construct a device that operates in a cycle and produce no other effect other than to receive heat from a single reservoir.
Single reservoir, right? Now, here if you see exchanging heat with single reservoir only, there is no reservoir one. Okay, so directly this whole total heat is converted into work, right? So it is highly impossible. It is violating second law of thermodynamics. It will become PMM2. Yes or no? Right? It is acting as a PMM2. It is violation of second law of thermodynamics. Means whatever the assumption we assumed, EA is more efficient than EB. You can see here. We assume that EB is more efficient than EA. That is assumption is wrong. Means always irreversible engines having less efficiency as compared to the reversible engine. Is it is clear? Carnot theorem. Please tell me again. I will explain. Very important, sir. Students,
Yes, sir.
can I explain or it is okay? Very important. Carnot theorem.
Explain once again.
Now, so initially we assumed two engines, EA and EB, and I am assuming, but both engines are working under same source and same sink, right? So both are taking same amount of heat and same amount producing W and WB work. Remaining will be rejected. Maybe work done may be different. That's why WA WB mentioned, right? And I am assuming this is the reversed engine and this is the irreversible engine. Okay, right. So reversed engine means I can change the directions, but here I cannot change the directions. Okay, so according to now we know this is one heat engine, this is another heat engine. I can write the efficiency here, I can write the efficiency here. WA by Q is the efficiency, WB by Q is the efficiency of this particular engine. Okay, now what I am doing, I am assuming that this so according to Carnot theorem, this is my reversible engine, it should have more efficiency. But what I am assuming irreversible engine is having more efficiency and I am going to make it as false. Okay, false. Then I can we can say that EA is having more efficiency because it is a reversed engine, right? For that reason, I am assuming the initially EB is having more efficiency. Okay, right. EB is having more efficiency. Like that, we can write Q minus WA is less than QB. That is output from the reversible engine is more than that of a reversible engine. Now, what I am doing in second stage, I am coupling these two. No, it is a composite system only, and I am changing the directions of engine A. I'm changing the directions of engine A because it is a reversed engine. So therefore, it is acting as a pump or refrigerator. Anything we can say. Okay, it is acting as a pump or refrigerator. Let us say it is acting as refrigerator. It is extracting heat from the lower temperature body and reject heat to the higher temperature body. In order to occur this process, we need to supply some external work. So for this, the work we are taking from the engine B. Engine B is working as heat engine. So therefore, from engine B, I am taking W amount of work. Therefore, the rest of amount delivered by the engine B is WB minus WA. Okay. So therefore, now we can see here this is this is WB minus WA. This is the work done by the engine B now. Okay, now this pump, what it is doing, it is rejecting heat to the higher temperature reservoir, and that same heat this engine is using. So for that, what I am doing, I am bypassing this one by removing this reservoir, by directly coupling this output of this pump to the input to the engine. Therefore, this is accepting the first law but violating the second law of thermodynamics. Therefore, whatever the assumption I assumed is wrong. Therefore, always reversible engines are having more efficiency as compared to the irreversible engine. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.